Hey everybody, it's Heather, and I had my hysteroscopy and surgery today. Actually, we got home just a few hours ago, and I wanted to update everybody and tell everybody how it went. I have Vicodin right now, and so I feel really good. It feels good. I'm having a little bit of cramping. I'm pretty tired because of the Vicodin, and I'm having a lot of bleeding. Those are my symptoms so far from the hysteroscopy. So let me start from the beginning and tell you, recap on why I had to have this, and then kind of go through my surgery and the results. So, I'm trying to think back. So the reason why I had to have this hysteroscopy is because when I had my HSG, my left tube was blocked, and they found a uterine abnormality in the top of my uterus. Then they scheduled me for a saline sonogram where they brought me into the office again, injected saline into my uterus so that they could see the uterine cavity, and I had a regular transvaginal ultrasound with that. And yes, there is a palm tree back there. This is our basement, and we kind of have some weird things in our basement, so just go with it. So yeah, I had that done, and in that, my doctor found something sticking from my left fallopian tube into my uterus, and she had no clue what it was. Some other doctors came in, and the ultrasound techs came in the room and tried to read it, and didn't know what it was. So I had that, and they suspected that obviously that was what was blocking my tube, but it's also in my uterus. So she wanted to get rid of it. She wanted to schedule this hysteroscopy, which is basically just like a colonoscopy, but for your uterus. They stick a camera up there, look around, and they have little tools that they can stick through the scope and remove things or whatever they need to do. Let's see. I also have Pcos, if you don't remember. Although I have not been able to go through any stimulations yet because I've had so many tests. And I also I'm hypothyroid, so I'm on Synthroid as well. So let's see, I went into my reproductive center or fertility clinic, whatever you want to call it, and I had to show up an hour and 30 minutes before my scheduled surgery. So my scheduled surgery was at 2:30. I showed up at 1. I had to have liquids all day, which sucks when you're so hungry. And my husband stopped and got some French fries and some candy, and I had to sit there and watch him eat it. It was really mean, but I didn't want him to starve too. I mean, that's not really fair. So I got there, so they took me back. They put me in a bed. They had me put, one of the gowns on that's open in the back and your butt sticks out. Little booties on, my little hat on, and the anesthesiologist came in, talked to me for a little bit about my allergies. I had to sign a bunch of paperwork, you know how it normally goes. And then he was going to put my IV in and start some saline. Well, my veins, I swear, they jump. I mean, every time I get my blood done, everyone's got to try at least twice. The last time I had an IV put in, they had to try 12 times before they finally got my IV in. It was awful. So, this anesthesiologist apparently has been around the block a few times, and this is his job. So he was really good, and he came in and he gave me a local anesthetic shot in the top of my hand. I don't know if you can see my hand. It's a little bruised, maybe, but I don't know. He did a good job. So he put this local anesthetic in so that I couldn't feel anything, so that he could find the vein and put it in properly without me being in any pain. I thought that was brilliant. So that's what he did. He got the saline going, and I think I waited for 25 minutes, 30 minutes before the other doctor came in, the one that was going to do the surgery or hysteroscopy. It wasn't my normal doctor because she wasn't working that day, but it was the first slot that they could get me in at, and my doctor wanted me to have this done as soon as possible so we could get the show on the road with the Clomid and everything. So, he came in to talk to me and told me what he was going to do with the scope and everything, and he said he didn't think it would take longer than about 20 minutes, and he said, well, when I'm ready to go, the anesthesiologist is going to come back in and walk you into the room. So the anesthesiologist came. I grabbed my roll-you-are that the saline was on, and I walked into the operating room with him. I sat down on a table that looks just exactly like when you go to the gyno, when you have your regular visits, except for it had these hooks, rubber hooks, for the backs of my knees to be put in, kind of like my HSG was. So they positioned me on this thing, put my legs up in these hooks, and then right after that, he injected the medicine, the sedation. I don't know what kind of sedative he used on me. And he said, you're going to feel some burning and lights out. And that's exactly what happened. I felt burning in my hand and I felt burning in my throat, which was really weird. And the next thing I remember is waking up. So I woke up and my husband was there and he was sitting right next to me. And my throat was so dry. I mean, I guess it's from mouth breathing, or they also put an oxygen tube in my nose, and my nose was really stuffy, and I was sneezing, and so that was the worst part about waking up. But they gave me water. After about 30 minutes, the nurse walked up and down the hallway with me for a little test, just to make sure that I could leave and walk out of there, and I put my clothes on and left. So now I need to back up and tell you what the doctor said and what they found. This unknown thing that was in my fallopian tube was a blood clot, a huge blood clot that was all through my tube coming out into my uterus. What? Who gets blood clots in their fallopian tubes? Apparently me, because not only was there one in my left tube, there was one in my right tube. So he pulled both of them out. My left tube was the only one blocked in my HSG. My right tube was open. So I don't know if that blood clot has since appeared in my fallopian tube since the HSG or what. But he unblocked my tubes, both of my tubes, and it's pretty cool. Pretty exciting. He also found something that we didn't expect, which is I had an adhesion in the bottom part of my uterus, and I have no idea where that came from. No clue. He asked me if I'd ever had a D&C done, and I said no, because I never have. I've never had any other procedures. As far as I know, I've never had anything sticking up into my uterus. I have no idea where this came from. Unless it was some rubbing or endometriosis. I mean, I don't know what could cause that. But so anyway, he told me that's what he found. He showed me some pictures. Pretty interesting. I mean, I have no idea what I'm looking at. All I see are red things. Red things and white things. I mean, I'm glad that he knows what he's doing, because I wouldn't be able to tell you what that is. So that's what happened. Both my tubes got cleared, and the only thing is, I've never heard of anyone having blood clots in their fallopian tubes, and I really need you guys' help. Can you guys please give me whatever information you know of, or anyone else on YouTube you know of that has had clots in their fallopian tubes? I'd really appreciate it if you would comment down below or send me a message, or I don't know, send me to any reference, because so far as I know, the doctors don't know why I have them. They've never really seen that in both tubes like that before, and they can't really help me out. And I really need to tap into this community, you guys, and I really need you guys to help me find someone else who's had clots in their fallopian tubes, and if they came back, if they found out what they were from, and how they handled it, or haven't been able to handle it, or what. So I really appreciate you guys to help me out and trying to find people in the community that know anything about this. I'm going to have a follow-up with my doctor tomorrow on the phone, and she'll be able to tell me a little bit more, and hopefully these things won't keep coming back. So that's it. I'm going to start my stims in 2 weeks, which is just Clomid and a trigger shot, and then the progesterone supplements, which everyone hates. But I'm really excited, and the surgery went well, and I got some super awesome painkillers, and I just hope you guys are doing great. And please, please let me know. Connect me with anyone that's had clots in their tubes. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. See you later.